Adaptations for limited motor abilities. Limited motor abilities falls under two categories, neurological and orthopedic impairments. Neurological impairments involves the nervous system, the brain, and the spinal cord. Neurological impairments may result in orthopedic impairments. Orthopedic impairments involves the muscles, bones, nerves of the body. According to IDEA, orthopedic impairment means a severe orthopedic impairment that adversely affects a child's educational performance. The term includes impairments caused by disease and/or impairments of other causes. The skills targeted improvements involves some functional independence and basic physical skills. Disabilities or delays associated with basic skills may interfere with a child's development. Physical development difficulties. Motor development is linked to the developmental of the central nervous system, a process that begins before birth. Atypic muscle tone. Resistance to passive movement of a muscle. This means it is too little or too much movement. It will interfere the development of a typical posture and movement patterns. Where will these skills be targeted? Motor intervention should be conducted within the context of functional activities. Natural environments, daily living activities, physical therapy or occupational therapy, and adaptive physical activities. What are the steps to apply these skills? You can ask yourself these questions shaped by the three components of inclusion. Are they able to access materials or the activities? Are they able to participate? How can I support my student? Things to keep in mind is that limited motor abilities can vary with the range from mild to severe motor limitations. Are they able to access? So a problem could be my student who uses a wheelchair sometimes doesn't get the materials needed for some activity. Some materials needed near the student's desk or place it in a reachable, accessible area. My class is always late to transition to lunch because one of my students who is using a walker walks very slow. Have the student pair up with a peer to walk with to lunch and have them walk together a few minutes earlier than the class. Are they able to participate? A teacher might think, I am worried that my student can't participate in the writing activities because they have difficulty in their fine motor skills. A solution could be have a peer write for them or have an assistive technology tool to record what the child says and then have the tool will scribe. Or have them grasp onto a writing utensil and with a hand over hand you can support them in the writing. In APE, a student struggles with balancing while kicking. A solution? Start off with practicing balancing with one foot by standing against the wall, then upgrade holding a hand with a peer or a staff, and then you can make it more advanced by playing in it different activities such as dance and yoga. How can I support? Create a positive relationship with the student and the family. Be the advocate for your student. Be creative interventions. You can support the student. What professionals would provide support? There will be physical therapists, occupational therapists, adaptive physical educator, special educator, general education teacher. So here's an example of an occupational therapy.
This is a child that has a brachial plexus injury. A brachial plexus injury is an injury that occurs to the nerves and to the muscles that are in the shoulder blade, and all the way down to the tips of her fingers. These activities that we're going to be doing are going to be trying to encourage weight shifting over to her affected side. We're going to be working on pushing and pulling activities. So in this segment, we are having her sit in a ring that is pushing her weight over to her left side, which is her affected side. I am shifting her weight so that she has to use her trunk more to balance. Here we are pushing. Pushing and pulling activities are very important because they help strengthen up the shoulder blade on the shoulder. And you need to have a strong shoulder for the arm to be able to move better. As much weight bearing as you can get into the affected side, the better. With her left arm, she tends to collapse, so we'll give her lots of opportunities to be leaning over onto it and to be crawling under and over objects. Obstacle courses are great things to do with children of these age because they like to build and they like to construct new activities. So having her crawl over uneven surfaces and to be able to push and pull them into place help encourage strengthening and also use of two hands together.
So for the research study, young children's is called Young Children's Decisions to include peers with physical disabilities in play. The hypothesis is children's inclusion decisions would be influenced by features of the physical environment, attention, issues of fairness and equity, and the individual child characteristics. The questions were, to what extent are physical demands of the activity context related to the children's decision to include a child with a physical disability in play? Are children more likely to say they would include a child with a disability when issues of fairness and equity are highlighted? Do children's theory of mind skills moderate associations between setting characteristics? Are children more likely to refer to moral issues of fairness and equity than to conventional issues such as ability or disability to explain their decisions to include a child with disabilities? So the research method was they had participants between 3 to 5 years old with and without disabilities enrolled in 7 inclusive classes and 2 preschool programs. They used the interview method. They mainly interviewed all the children for 10 to 20 minutes, and they did a false belief task and an inclusion interview, where they would use examples of 2 dolls. One would be a child that was wheelchair based and a child that didn't need any support. So my takeaways from the research study was more students have opportunity to include a peer with a disability if the teacher provides ideas and examples of how they can include a peer. Children are more likely to include a peer when they have the opportunity to teach a skill or the activity. Children are sensitive to physical demands. Children are influenced by their developing theory of mind skills and by prompts that promote them to consider issues of fairness and equity when making a decision. So the key topics were: goal is to implement and functional independence. Remember the 3 components: access, participate, and support. Teach students that they can support and include a peer with a limited motor ability. Change the environment rather than the student. So the resources I provided is one, the Stone Soup Group, Special Olympics Alaska, and lastly, a National Association of Special Education Teachers. And that will include my presentation. Thank you.